333-8800 or go to improvhouston.com.
It is the holiday season on the People's Station, Majic 102.1. Friends, family, love, joy, work ethics all started with the young lady sitting across from me who had the guts to take on the establishment in Washington, D.C. and said, I will not be denied. I am going to speak from the people, for the people, at 1450 on the AM dial, WOL.
Which means we offer love.
We offer love, and Miss H, you brought it. You still bring it. So first, let me just
Tough love.
Tough. Well, yes, ma'am. You're a taskmaster. Now I took folk. Well, how was it working for Miss H? I said it was tough. I said because she didn't play, but she expected the greatness that I'm not even so sure I saw in myself. But you pushed me.
You know what? I've always had a goal that anyone who ever worked for me, whether they left on their own or I escorted them out, would leave more skillful, more advanced, more developed than they were when they first came to work for me. To me, this obsession that American businesses have with the bottom line, my obsession is with my front line. I have always concentrated on helping that front line grow and develop, and consequently my bottom line just followed right along with it. If you take care of your front line, you won't have any problems with your bottom line.
So now Radio One grows, and we've developed all these radio stations, and
Yes.
you venture out into a lot of different businesses. TV One, how did that come?
Alfred,
Okay.
my son, who is our president and CEO, just bumped me right aside. That's a whole nother story. He told me that he wanted to join. He was selling for us when we were on 4th and H with Larry Jones as our program director. He told me he wanted to join the Young Presidents Club and that he needed to be president in order to join the Young Presidents Club because there were a lot of advertisers in the club. And so I stupidly said, I went for the okie doke. I said, oh, okay, you can be the president. And to this day, he has not joined the Young Presidents Club and ain't no longer young. Okay. When he was at UCLA in college, Topper Carew produced a show called Martin. And he had, in the trades, my husband at the time, Dewey Hughes, was a member of the Directors Guild. He has 14 Emmys to his credit. Anyway, created music videos. That's a whole nother long story. But anyway, so he arranged for Alfred to go in for an interview to be an intern on the Martin show. And we just knew we had it because Topper Carew was from D.C. He knew Dewey. They had worked together in the industry. Alfred had the experience of radio, and Topper Carew turned him down. And Alfred called me in tears, and he said, I'm going to build a television network, Mama, and I'm going to have the Martin Show on my network, which all came true. And I'm not going to let Topper Carew work for us. And Topper Carew didn't care because he retired wealthy. But anyway, that's how we got into television, because Alfred, at 15 years old, was denied an internship. And so he created, TV One was strictly his baby, because I was like, no, I just want more radio. Black folks love radio. He said, they love cable more, Mama. He said, read this research. They will pay their cable bill before they pay other bills. Okay, he said, cable is major entertainment for people of color. He said, black and brown people love cable. We're going into the cable business. We've got to diversify. Thank God. He had that foresight, because radio has taken a hit from everyone. As you know, at one time we used to compete against other radio stations. Now we actually compete against our listeners, because they all think that they're DJs are air personalities with their devices. They have their own playlists. They have their own sources. Sometimes we learn about new artists from our listeners themselves. So not only do we compete against all other radio stations now, we're actually in competition with our listeners, so we had to diversify in order to stay alive. We're in a business that, particularly if you're black, if you don't grow, you gotta go.
Right.
Simple as that. You either grow or you go. And so thank God we diversified into cable with TV One, and created a show that is our #1 show that I happen to know is quite popular with you also.
Yes, ma'am. Unsung. It's a history lesson for a music lover. It's
Yes.
a history lesson for anyone who wants to know the backstories of how this particular person or group got to where they are, and the photography, the shooting, the storylines, all first class. So there's an extra piece of pride when I see a new show coming out, when we get a chance to promote Unsung on TV1, because having been there, been around, you know my music career. I started playing with the Presidents in D.C. and the whole thing to Philadelphia and being on stage with them. And to see the stories now coming to pass of the main ingredients of the stylistics, the Johnny Taylors, you know, it's so good for black music.
One of my all-time favorites was the Unsung we did on Otis Redding.
Yes.
I had no idea that this brother was that successful, that young.
Yeah.
That was his own plane that crashed and killed him. He owned that plane.
And Mr. Brown told him to beware of that beach, that he did not like that brand of airline, that brand of plane. He wanted to change the plane. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, those are the things, because these stories don't get told in majority media. And so if we don't tell our own story, who's going to do it for us? You know, there's an African proverb that goes, and I probably won't get it exactly like, you know, it was written, but it's basically, until the lion gets to tell its own story, the hunter will always be the victor.
My God.
And that's how I feel about what we do in media. The lion is way more ferocious than the hunter. But any story you read is always the hunter that kills the lion. The lion's always ended up dead. And that's what happens with us. We have to tell our own story from our own perspective. We should not expect the same culture and community that enslaved us to accurately portray us. That doesn't make sense. They don't see us as humans. You can't have a slave and then you're going to tell, oh, these were kings and queens, okay, and we're so diabolical that we enslaved them. They had to, in their minds, in order to keep their sanity and their relationship with God, that as they understood it, they had to see us as less than human. So I don't want anybody that sees me less than a human being telling my story. I want to tell my own story, and that's what Urban One, our new name, our new corporate name.
I like it.
Because, you know, this is so interesting, because now, you know, we struggle through trying to get major companies to advertise on radio. Now we're trying to get them to advertise on television for us. They say, oh, no, we don't have to advertise. We can advertise with Fox and put our money into Empire. We're like, that's not black-owned media, okay? So they kept saying, but you're a radio company. Now we're sitting there, okay, with Unsung and all these award-winning shows. They're going to say, well, we thought you were a radio company. So we changed our corporate name to Urban One, which is the parent corporation of Radio One, TV One, Reach Media, Interactive One, and One Solution. God has blessed us. Alfred grew up to take over the company and has diversified it, and that's why we are able to continue to grow and not have to go.
I'm sitting with the matriarch. This is the person that thought...
Does that mean I'm old?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That
You ever meet a young matriarch? Answer the question.
No.
Oh.
No. But I love the wisdom and I love
Thank
the
you.
seasoning.
Did we blink? I mean, 25 years we've
How
been
about
together?
that? Yes, ma'am. It has been quite the ride. I'm sitting with Miss Hughes, Miss Kahty Hughes, and I've never once in my life ever called her anything other than Miss H. Have I
That's
not?
true. You're the one who started calling me Miss H.
I defended her. People said, "Oh, you work for Kahty." I said, "Who?" "Oh, yeah. You know, I said that is the most disrespectful thing I think I've ever run into in my life. I said this woman has sacrificed her life, her own personal career. She's given up so much. She went to 30,000 banks before anybody would give her a piece of a loan to purchase the radio station that grew into this beautiful company now we work for. And I'd be doggone if y'all going to belittle her by just calling her Kahty in front of me. I fought. I still fight.
Well, it's become my moniker. Now everyone calls me Miss H. I thank you for that, Larry.
Yes,
a lot
ma'am.
of people don't know you're the one that started that.
Well, it's just love. It's love and respect.
Even Alfred calls me Miss H.
No.
Even in the office,
Yeah.
you know. But you know, when you get to be 70, I turned 70 in April.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You kind of like to hear the name that your mama gave. I like hearing Kahty every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
In business, it just for me, it was just respectful. and
Yeah.
it means the world to me. I want to finish I have a lot of questions about the future of the
Now, honey,
world.
you gotta play music.
Yes, ma'am. I know. We've
It's
been talking for a
Christmas.
minute. Well,
Okay.
boss,
Your boss is over there looking at me all sideways. Okay. Don't be getting me in trouble when I'm trying to become your co-anchor. Okay, I'm trying to get a position here in Houston.
I know the lady who signs the checks. I think you'll be fine.
Oh, okay, good.
All right. Miss Hughes in studio on the People Station, Magic 102.1.
Fibroid free at a late health free consultation 713